Hey,
I don't know if I had like a little lag, but we're here.
we're here.
Here,
We're ready to party.
our pilot episode, if you will.
That was me like screaming, but I'm in my apartment, so.
Hello, everyone. Again,
Hey. Hey
I almost said welcome
everyone.
back, but you can't. I can't say welcome back if you guys have never been here before. But this is episode one of our podcast.
Absolutely.
Maya and Fola take over the world. World
Our
domination
podcast.
after our therapy appointments.
Right. Isn't that amazing? World domination. We're on our way. Absolutely. After I pick up my Prozac from CVS.
Oh yeah, all the bad bitches are on Prozac. Period.
Tony Soprano.
Exactly. We're Tony Soprano. Yeah, yeah. He walked so that
Exactly.
we could have a podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fola, how are you doing? What's going on?
Maya, it's hot in New York. It is so hot, and
It's
I'm becoming
getting ridiculous.
delirious.
This actually is like, I mean, obviously because it's like global warming, but I've lived here my whole life. This might be one of like the nastiest summers we've ever had.
It's crazy.
It's never been this like
And they're like, oh,
humid
Earth
and
just broke the
muggy.
record for the world's hottest day.
Okay, but like
Really?
okay, like that is terrible, obviously. But when I did hear that news, because that was like 4th of July that day, or like the day before, or whatever. When I saw that news the day after, I was like, oh, that makes sense. That's why. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I fear it does. It's raining
Suddenly,
like
it all
every
makes
3 days
sense.
here. Like it feels like
Yeah.
the low budget version of the Bible. Like we're getting like
The plagues and shit.
yeah, it's like the plagues want a plague, but they're working hybrid.
Right. Just a little, like, sprinkle, I guess.
Like they're like, maybe it'll be really hot. Yeah, it'll rain tomorrow.
Imagine the Prince of Egypt, but like the
Yeah,
plagues are like mid.
yes, it is. No, it's they're not. It never gave plague. It
Mild
never gave.
sickness.
It's
Like
like
it's
mildly
not,
annoying.
it was never plague-ish. How are you, Maya? What's up in your world?
It's an interesting week. I know, Phil, you're an astrology girly. I don't know how much of an astrology girly, but we're about to hit the Venus retrograde next week. We're in the pre-shadow period, and shit's already getting weird. I might have to go more in depth off mic because
Yeah,
honestly, the people that come into my life are very fucking peculiar, and they probably will listen to the
it's a
podcast
mess.
because you really never know. But it's getting weird. I just need to put the disclaimer out there that I do every time like a planet goes into retrograde, which is that if you're thinking about coming back, don't, and if you do, I only accept my apologies and Dior saddlebags. Otherwise, keep on the
Amen.
playground, keep it in the
Keep
iMessage
it
drafts, keep
pushing.
it in the notes app, because what does that have to do with me, frankly?
Not a thing. Yeah, everything's been weird.
Also Hollywood is on strike.
Yeah, I love it.
Everything is
I'm
weird.
really happy about it.
We love a
We love
strike.
a strike. We love a union, solidarity.
I love entertainment and not working, so it's basically two of my favorite things together.
It's
So,
literally, I wish I was on strike a little bit too.
okay, I'm glad you said that because earlier I was like, damn, like I wish I had a job I could go on strike for because
Yeah, Hollywood's on strike. Barbie's
yeah.
next weekend. Barbenheimer's next weekend.
Did you see that tweet that was like Barbenheimer being like the last big event before the strike? It's kind of giving like the Roaring Twenties going into the Great Depression.
That's so real. Oh my God. No, it's like, what was it? The extinction burst. I saw some TikTok where the lady, she's like a psychologist, and she was like, yeah, patriarchy is going through like an extinction burst, so all the men are acting crazy. And I was like, this is like Hollywood's extinction burst. Like,
Yeah, and honestly, they deserve it. I like sat and did the math, and I'm like pretty sure it was right. I'm like pretty bad at math, but like when it comes to money, I'm all about the calculator. So they were making like the like 8 executives or whatever were all making like $2 million a week. When you divide the money
oh,
up, they were all making $2 million a week. Meanwhile, one of the
that's
writers for The Bear
insane.
had to like buy his tie for, I think it was the CFDA awards maybe, had to buy his tie on his credit card because he literally wasn't getting paid enough money.
I remember
But
that.
Bob Iger's dumbass gets $2 million a week for to what, to put on a Brooks Brothers suit and sit in a corner office and do nothing.
And do what? What is he doing? Like, he needs to do like a day in my life or something because I don't know. Like, like as Bob Iger, what like is that how you say his last name? Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you, like? You're saying yes and no to the next Captain America movie, or you're just like, I don't know,
He's like Roman Roy on the computer and just the notifications are popping in. Like,
just the tabs. They should let me be the CEO of Disney. But yeah, speaking of Hollywood, Emmy noms came out yesterday.
did I review the whole
Neither did
list?
I.
No. Was I on Twitter for 2 hours yesterday?
Absolutely.
Good enough for me.
You know, Succession taking it. Are we shocked? Are we surprised? Abbott Elementary taking
Period.
it. Again, are we shocked? Are we
I
surprised?
know that's right. I know
I'm
that's right. Yeah.
loving
Yeah.
this bear moment that's happening. 13 Emmy noms first go. Like, yeah, yeah. Come in and shake the table.
Exactly. The dining table, if
Like,
you will.
oh, oh, yeah, come to the table. And like, this is only for season one. This is only for season one. And like, the budget increase of season two, the dynamic, like, changes in the storylines. Like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, they're
exactly.
taking it. They're taking it.
They're taking it. However, I'm happy about a lot of things, but I'm also like,
Look,
I was squinting
there was
at some
many
of
a
the
sneak.
noms.
Many a sneak.
Many a sneak. A lot of people
I
tiptoed.
love White Lotus down. I'm an HBO hottie down. But 23 nominations for season 2 of White Lotus. I'm gonna go ahead and say that's about 18 too many. Because the grandpa, are we certain?
Right. The grandpa. And it's like, didn't it come out that the grandpa was like doing some like freaky weird shit, like touching like young women or something? And they're gonna let him show up to the Emmys? He better not take anything home. Is he for supporting? Well, what's his name is gonna get it. Tom from Succession's gonna get it. Probably. A sneak, speaking of Succession, cousin Greg getting nominated. Yeah. Literally, what did he do? I've been like racking my brain, like, has he ever moved me ever in the show? No.
Don't piss me off. It's white mediocrity wins again. What did he do this season? Yes, girl, give us nothing. Like, you know what? I know what he did this season. He brought the girl with the ludicrously capacious bag. And that's why he was supporting Matthew McFadden or Fadden, or however you pronounce his last
She
name.
should have gotten a nomination. Right, that bag. Okay, right. Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, the bag. Like, what's her name should have gotten a nom? Shorty with the bang.
Not Carrie.
Because I mean, her 30 seconds on screen, she chewed, I'm afraid. Like, when she was dropping all her stuff on the ground, she was crying and she was like, oh, he said he was gonna marry me. Like, yeah, okay? It's desperation. I fuck with her. People didn't like her in the show, but I was like, you know what? She wears a pantsuit down. Her bangs eat.
Okay, Victoria Paris.
She's cute. And she like, oh,
I love Victoria Down, my bisexual queen, but
I'm gonna give give it to Vicky
it's
P.
giving Carrie.
I'm gonna give it to Vicky P. Her bangs
Oh,
are. I like them.
I just wait. That's my not to get off topic. 'Cause
I
we
like
do
her
have a
bangs.
topic to discuss for the episode, but we have a full like
We
itinerary
have
for
a
this
full
episode.
show
But
to do.
we love VP down. My sister, if you're listening to this somehow, please don't block me through osmosis.
Absolutely.
Okay. But why have you been in the hair salon 5 times a week since you got those bangs cut? Like what? Like 5 different hair salons. They don't look that different after. It's like,
She
what are we doing here?
can.
What are we doing here? She got them trimmed like 8 times, and it's like, girl, I know you're white, but your hair does not grow that fast.
It
It
cannot.
it, it cannot be.
And it's like, you get your hair cut, like, let it marinate, you know what I mean?
Yes.
I don't know, like, maybe it's just as a braid girl, like, when you get your braids done, it's that first day is not, they're tight, your head hurts, you're tired. It's not gonna give. It's like day 3 when the braids start to,
Yes.
you know what I mean? So, like, I don't know, maybe let your hair marinate.
Right.
Sorry, Vicky P, I love you.
Yeah.
You're my Aries
Come
queen.
on the pod, VP, if you're listening to this somehow.
Come on the pod. Come on the pod. Bisexuals. We'll do a bisexual episode.
Eat Hot Chip and Lie, featuring Victoria Paris.
Oh my god. Okay.
What else would we be talking about for our first episode other than 13-time Emmy-nominated FX original, The Bear? Can we get a round of applause, please? Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Bear.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Everyone cheered. Yeah.
Everybody clapped. Everybody cheered.
No, of course.
And it's like, are we shocked? Are we shocked? They came out the gate swinging.
No, they did. They said, I want something big. I want
Someone
something
says, I'm here.
Carly Barzano. Yeah. Oh, that's going to be a TikTok later. Yeah, let me jot that down.
Oh my god. Yeah, but I'm really happy that, like, the Bear is getting the recognition it deserves because, it's a cool show. It's,
Yes.
like, got a very minority-heavy cast. It's real about, like, mental illness. I think it's, like, and just, like, grief and all that stuff. I think that, like, TV like that is good for, like, society. So I'm happy that, like, it's everyone's shit.
Yes.
Because it's mine.
Exactly. The way it was running the Twitter, that one picture of Jeremy Allen White was running the Twitter streets last summer, like...
That was the marketing. It was Jeremy Allen White looking hot.
Exactly. I love me a funky-looking white man with debilitating mental illness. Like, give
Yeah.
it to me.
And he has a schnoz. Unfortunately, give me a big nose, I'm there. I'm sated. I'm sat. Oh my
No,
god.
literally. No,
Yeah.
I can't. Whew. All right, so Fola, what was your initial experience with the bear? Like, from the jump?
It was that picture. It was that picture that was circulating Twitter. Because here's the thing. I try to watch Shameless. I never make it past the first season. I think it's just, I don't know. Like, the chaos of Shameless is like, why would I submit myself to that,
Right.
Like, 17 kids in one house, and the dad is, like, dying every day. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, it's just not.
Right.
I just can never get into it. So I knew who Jeremy Allen White was, but then I saw this, like, picture of him just, like, being very muscly and tattooed. And I was like, hold on, what's going on over there? And then I maybe watched, like, the first episode or two, and then I made a TikTok with that picture, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll be tuning in. And a lot of people were like, what show is this? And I was like, The Bear on Hulu. It just came out. And I was like, okay, now I've just, like, made a TikTok, and it, like, hit, like, 50,000 likes. Okay, I have to stick with it. You know what I mean? And I just thought it was a really good show. It was, like, interestingly paced. I thought that, like, getting into fine dining is like, I mean, are there a lot of shows about like fine dining?
There aren't. It's really like untapped, you know? Like I never it wasn't even not even something I ever thought about like something someone should make a show about, you know?
Absolutely. But it's like it's like insane because everyone I know who like works in like food service or whatever, they say like working at a restaurant is the most like insane experience you'll ever have in your life. Like everyone in the back is like fucking and it's just crazy. And I'm like, that's amazing. Like, you know, we've been making hospital shows, back to back to back, you know, cop shows
Shonda Rhimes has been carrying ABC Network on her back with Grey's Anatomy season 75 or whatever.
on her shoulders. Even Grey is gone from Grey's Anatomy.
It's just they need to hang it up flat screen.
Hang it up.
We like
Plasma.
also like not to be like you normies, but like are people really still watching like new episodes of Grey's Anatomy?
Absolutely. There's no way they're not. But yeah, I thought it was really cool. I think I made a video about like how, you know, fine dining, like cooking is like something that we all have to do, right? Or like at least come in contact with. But like fine dining is like what happens when you let like white supremacy and like capitalism and patriarchy get to something and, you know, exclude other people from it. And yeah, I just thought it was like a really interesting show. And so I really liked it.
I really like that analysis that you made when the show first came out. And it's also really fascinating. And you probably mentioned it in your video that like fine dining is very white. It's like very like class exclusionary. But then the people in the back making your food are black and brown people who are not being paid adequately. Like it's kind of no tinfoil cap. It's giving slavery a little bit. It's giving slavery a little bit.
But exactly.
Yes.
It's give exactly. Exactly. And like also this was like after I moved to New York for like a year. So like I feel like I got access to like a new restaurant scene and I was like, you know, this is
Yeah.
kind of weird. So I think I liked like being able to like experience that.
Yeah, that's like an interesting. Yeah, that's like an interesting way to look at it. That like you were dropped into a new restaurant scene, like you are like a food person. If you guys don't know, Phil is a big foodie, and yeah, I like didn't consider that that could be like a angle to look at it from. But I think I think growing up in New York, I think I just take for granted that I have access to like great food all the time. Like I remember once a girl who I'm not friends with anymore. She was visiting from the Midwest and she was like, "Yeah, I can't believe how many options you guys have here on Uber Eats." And it just never occurred to me that like people don't have like an abundance of restaurants to choose from
For
when
sure.
they're hungry.
Like
Like
pick a
I
country on a
literally
map.
I can
You'll
have
find
literally
a
whatever food I
restaurant
want when I
in New
wake up
York
every day,
City.
you know?
But anyway, enough about me. Maya, what was your first experience with the bear?
Well, Fola and I are sisters in the fact that our type of men is very much the same. I did see the Twitter streets talking about the bear, and I saw that picture of Jeremy Allen White going around, and of course I was intrigued. And then about a year ago, I went on. I guess it was almost exactly a year ago at this point. I had went on like a really great first date with a girl on a Friday. The following week, I went on the lamest first date I ever went on with a man, and I don't go on dates with men that often. And I'm kind of like always perpetually in like a cycle of like I'm gonna be alone for forever. I'm never gonna get to experience true love. Like my love life's been in shambles for the last 3 years for reasons we will not dive into on episode one. And I remember just and like the thing about the date is that he wasn't like particularly horrible. Like, you know, I hear women who date men go on all these horrible dates and it's like, you know, like he talked about himself the whole time and he was picking his nose and blah 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 and just all types of gross stuff, but he was just plainly boring. Like I knew from the minute that I sat down, I was like, I don't want to be here.
Real.
And about 15 minutes in, I like knew I was like, it's not a good fit, and I like lied so I could go home. And so I'm like on the bus, I'm like waxing poetic. I'm listening to Duvet by Boa, like a fucking early 2000s loser, and I'm like, actually, in fact, the date was so bad that I was on the bus. I was like, maybe I am a lesbian. You know, I was like, maybe maybe I just don't like men, period, you
Those
know?
are always
So,
the best like moments when you're like, ah.
yeah. And like as somebody who previously used to identify as lesbian, I was like, are we switching teams again? What's going on here? But anyway, so I get home from my day, I'm like depressed, and I'm like, now seems like a better time than any to put on The Bear. And I put it on at 1:30 in the morning, and I finished it by the next morning. And I just loved it so much. I loved how I think we've just gotten so accustomed to like hour-long dramas because of HBO and just prestige television in general that I really like that it was a drama comedy that was under 30 minutes and it went by so quickly. And I guess it's supposed to make you feel like you're in the restaurant too. But at some point I was like, when did I end up on episode 5? And why are there only 3 left? You know, and like I feel like FX has just a very distinct like cinematography style. Like it's very like high exposure, high contrast, and like the colors are like very enhanced in a way, but not like in a vivid way, but in kind of like a darker way, kind of like a almost like a filmy kind of way. And like the writing was so good, and like I had to remind myself sometimes that like, whoa, somebody wrote this show because it just like the way the conversation just flowed so naturally, and like I was rewatching the pilot episode, and I was like, because I studied TV in college, and pilot episodes tend to be like they're pretty slow, like they're not meant to be like attention grabbing right away. They're more about like establishing the plot and the characters and all that stuff. And for a pilot, it was really good for a pilot. It was very entertaining and engaging for a pilot. And so I've rewatched it a bunch just because like it's quick to watch. It's fun to like put on in the background. I'm a big background TV kind of girl. I was Sydney for Halloween, and I made a TikTok in my costume, and the Io Edebiri commented on it and liked it. And then a couple months after that happened, the FX marketing team reached out and they were like, "Can we use your TikTok in a trailer for season 2 of The Bear?"
Oh,
And
period.
I was like, literally, period. And yeah, and
Exactly.
here we are now. So
Here we
yes,
are.
season 2. Spoiler, what are we thinking? What are our thoughts?
Post season 2. You know, I talk a lot about TV on my TikTok. I say that season 2s are always like just so good because people making the show don't really have anything to prove anymore. They just have to they just can make really good TV. And like I've said that about several seasons of TV, but yeah, like this season 2, once again, following the pattern, it chewed. I loved it, and it was 10 episodes long. Okay.
Eh, they did that for the girls. They did that for the girls. Yeah,
They did it for
yeah,
us. Yeah. Yeah. And, we've got Emmy nommed Io and Jeremy now. Like
yeah.
it's
And
just
they're taking it for next year too.
again,
Yeah, they're
they're
taking
absolutely
it.
taken out.
Yeah.
Yeah. People were like, "Why is it in there as a comedy?" I was like, "Cause that's what they submitted for,
Right.
babe. I don't know what to tell you."
Right.
Like,
Also, I read somewhere,
yeah.
you probably saw the screenshot on Twitter too, about how like um a show can be counted as a drama if it's under an hour or something, or if it's like 30 minutes or less or whatever. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
tinfoil cap, I'm wondering if they made episode 6 an hour so they could submit it for drama for next time. If that maybe was like one of the reasons, you know.
Wow, your brain's
It's
working. And it's like Succession's done. A lot of the big heavy hitter shows
yeah.
are done. Not saying that they need like a weakened playing field, but it's like, I mean, chances are better for you. So, yeah.
Yeah, the big fish is out of the water.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're right though. It never gave sophomore slump. It
Never.
never gave that.
Not
And like
once.
the like you said before, the increased budget, I could see every single detail on Io Debris' face. I was like, wow, I feel like I'm in the room with her, actually.
You could taste it.
I'm like counting like the strands in her box braids, like
I was watching her like pupils like dilate in the sun. I was like, ugh.
but also like I mean Io Debris, like that's our sister, obviously. And like obviously I was like, gorgeous girl for sure. But like the increased budget, I was like, whoo. I was like, oh wow.
Right. Oh my God.
Like I need her in everything. I need her in a Tiffany campaign, I need
Exactly.
her in a Dior. I need her on the runway. I need her to
Absolutely.
be everywhere,
She's
actually.
gorgeous. I'm obsessed with her. Gorgeous, gorgeous.
My girl. Love of my life.
But yeah, also like study abroad era, you know, as a person of study abroad.
Well, at least the pod has study abroad representation because I did not study abroad.
Yes, study abroad representation. I went to Germany, and so seeing Marcus be like black in Copenhagen, I was like, yeah,
Yes. Guten Tag.
it's kind of crazy over there. Yeah, but it was really fun. Yeah, I think it was like it was cool that they just had that episode. Like, I think that it was cool that everyone had kind of like you know, standalone episode where we're like not like leaving the original like plot of the new restaurant opening behind per se, but just like experiencing, you know, this growth that's going to happen through the season and like how that's going to impact the restaurant as we, you know, open and like coalesce in
Yes.
season 3. I thought that was really good. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It was so like the way it was structured, like it was just they were in there, no pun intended, they were in there cooking. Like they
Cooking.
really just like that gift of the kid with the long bang from whatever show it is, MasterChef Kids or whatever.
I have to restart my potatoes.
The season 2, I can't get over it. Like what a great second season. And I'm like very loyal to first seasons of shows because I like that distinct like first season feel, but the second season I'm like it's different, but like I like
For
it. Like
sure. I like it. Yeah. And it's like there's nowhere to go but up, you know? Season 3, like, you know, now that the restaurant is open, I'm like, okay, like what, you know, what's going to happen? Like they're trying to get that Michelin star. They're trying to, you know, make sure that the building doesn't like break down again. And, you know, I think and that'll be and to get their uncle the investment back, you
yes,
know,
in 18 months.
like it's going to be a lot of stakes. And I'm happy. I'm excited.
I will say the season, like I knew it was gonna be good. I didn't like have any. I was just like season 2, the bear's coming. You know, like the bear is coming. Word to the signers on the door.
Yeah.
They made the season specifically for me. Sid Carmine, Sarah Paulson, and John Mulaney as a fruity New York couple.
Absolutely.
The Tom Brown references. The increase in the budget. I can't get over the increase in the budget and the cinematography because it's just so fucking good.
Right.
Like the show was already good, but like it just looks and feels like that shit is clearer than my eyesight, both with and without glasses.
It's amazing. Yeah, like the Forks episode, I was like seeing details in the forks and I was like, wait, I'm watching this on a TV and I'm not close to my TV. And, you know, this shit is clear as hell. 4K. It was great. Sydney and Carmi.
I was not expecting that. Not to be vulnerable on the first episode of the pod, I too have been the black girl with box braids in a complicated emotional relationship with my white male coworker who has curly hair and debilitating mental illness. And if he looked like Jeremy Allen White, I would be one of those girls who's 22 years old and has 4 kids and is trying to defend her choice on TikTok. We're gonna grow up together. Like
Well, actually, I wanted to have kids early on because when you guys are 50, and I'm 50, my kids are already going to be out and in college, and you guys are going to be raising children. So it's like you're a victim, babe. But anyway, anyway, yeah, you know, I mean, we don't have to talk about my circumstance in terms of Carmi Versano.
the girls that know, they know, and if you don't, you don't. Like
If you get it, you get it. But you know, it's like, and I think it was just like a lot of this like relationship building that's happening. Like, you know, I think we are, if you're like into like Sydney and Carmi, you know, you're like locked in for a slow burn. And,
for
you
sure.
know, you have to like Casey Musgraves just like be all right with it. And,
Yeah, we were early investors in Sid
you
Carmi.
know, early investors, high
Yeah,
return,
words to
okay?
succession. Yeah,
You know, if it takes 4 years, no, words to succession. If it takes like 4 seasons for us to get what we want, you know, it's just gonna be even sweeter. But I think that like the little things that we had this season were like they're laying foundations there, you know what I mean? The I'm sorry and sign.
It was like a charcuterie board of intimacy.
Very intimate. And like the scene under the table, the chest rub moments, because it was several times, the Tom Brown thing. Yeah, it was all just like very lovely. The panic attack where Carmi thinks of his current girlfriend and is not having a good time, and then he thinks of our sister Sydney, and suddenly he can breathe. He can see clearly now. The rain is gone.
If anything, Sydney is to him what Black China was to Rob Kardashian. She's his Black China. I just love them so much. They're so in love.
And a lot of people don't get it. A lot of people do not get it. Or they don't want to get it.
They don't want to get it because Io Debris doesn't look like Zendaya. Let's make that up.
Oh, but now we've said it. But now we've said it.
They don't want to get it because Io Debris doesn't look like Sydney Sweeney. Which is crazy because racism aside, that is the most gorgeous girl I've ever seen in my life.
We had this conversation. We were like, let Sydney have been a white person, a white man even. And having that relationship with Carmi, a lot of the people who were saying, oh, they should only be platonic, they'd be shipping down. So it's just like it's really funny to me. And I like, as someone who's been, in like internet fan spaces for like a fuck ton of time at this point, like I know what I'm seeing, it's just like a new tune, but it's like, same melody. And yeah, I just feel like you guys aren't slick. The people who, are like, oh, Sydney and Carmi should never like hook up and get together. Like they need to be platonic. Da, 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 da. It's like, why are you so adamant in this moment for that? You know what I mean? Like people are like, oh, I hate that when men and women have to become romantic. And I'm like, you guys have seen slow burn friendships to lovers things happening in so much TV, but it's in this moment that we're just desperate for platonic relationships. Okay.
Like, I know what y'all be reading on AO3, and it's not looking good. It's a lot worse than a dark-skinned black girl with a mentally ill white man. So let's maybe not... And also, let's abolish the word platonic. I'm tired of hearing it after this.
Absolutely. They ran it into the ground.
Right. Just because you can riz up Jeremy Allen White doesn't mean that Sydney has to stay single. So let's jot that down.
Exactly. And it's like, if we wanted to, we could easily bag. I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
When Jeremy Allen White's divorce or like his separation got announced and we just like texted each other at the exact same time. That was a day.
When the bear first came out and Jeremy Allen White and Io Debris did their Vanity Fair thing. I remember reading about how he and his wife had been together since they were like teenagers, and then I googled her and I found out she was white, and I was so surprised. I was like, really? Like it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
He's just woman of color coded. Like his curls are so healthy. Like he has a huge nose. He's a little bit funky looking. Like
exactly.
Yes.
It's like you know where you belong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry to them, I guess. Sorry to the children.
She'll be all right. She'll be fine.
She'll get over it. Yeah.
She'll be okay. Should we talk about the Claire of it all? The Claire in the room?
Yeah. I was going to say the bear in the room.
So I got to go to an early premiere of Bottoms, which Io Debris and Rachel Sennett are starring in. And Emma Seligman, the director, was there. Molly Gordon, who plays Claire, was there. And I was texting Fola the other day, and I was like, frankly, Molly Gordon needs to be happy that that premiere was when it was, because if it came out after season 2 of The Bear, it would not have been good for her. Like I'm not saying I would have fought her, but I just feel like I think she would have been really uncomfortable in the SVA theater on 23rd Street, is all I'm trying to say.
We would have created bad vibes.
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
and I do like her a lot. I do like Molly
Yeah.
Gordon a lot, but I'm like, and also it's maybe my personal investment in like Sid Carmody that like the way that I feel about Whitney Peak, who plays Zoya on the Gossip Girl reboot, or played, I should say, rest in peace. She almost played Zoya too well in a way that it still like shakes me up when I see her in other places. I'm like, ugh,
Like, what
what
are
are
you
you doing
doing here,
here?
Zoya?
And I feel a little bit that way about Molly Gordon, but I think I'll get over it eventually. I do like her a lot.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I liked her in other stuff. It was, I think, the way that she was, like, written into the bear and the way that, like, she was used that I think was just kind of meh. Like, I don't think it's Molly Gordon's fault per se, but, like, I think that what they were trying to do with her character just, like, didn't really move me, you know what I mean? And it's like, you know, these people have the capacity to write compelling female characters. You know, we see Sarah Paulson for literally 30 minutes, she chews. We see Jamie Lee Curtis for the Fishes episode, she chews. Like, we don't need, you know, it's not like they can't write women. Or even like Olivia Colman's character, Chef Terry, shows up for a 5-minute scene and is earth shaking, you know? So it's like, we know you have the capacity for this. But Claire was written as a love interest. She was not written to be like an autonomous person, in my opinion. And so it's like watching her in her like half-baked form interact with Carmi
Right.
was just like, I don't know, it was just
Hmm.
boring to me, honestly. And I was also thinking, like, you know, throughout the show, they're like, oh my God, Carmi's with Claire again. Oh my God, Claire's so great. Claire's so great. I'm like, you have to show, like, tell us, you have to have characters screaming that this character is, like, so, she's so cunt, she's so mother. And it's like, why am I
Exactly.
not gagging over her,
Exactly.
like, when she's on the screen?
It's giving stepmother.
Like, I don't know, you know? And people were like, oh, people hating Claire is misogyny. You just hate women. Da, 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 da. I'm like, but I fought worse for Shiv Roy, okay? So we're not gonna do that.
But also like maybe people would like Claire if she was an actual compelling character.
Right.
It's giving white feminism a lot.
Well,
That's what it's giving.
like, she definitely wore a vagina hat in 2017.
So she definitely was riding for Hillary Clinton.
Down.
Nevertheless, she persisted, face ass. She definitely posted the black square in June 2020 and sent like $50 to like three black people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I won't understand, but I stand.
I stand with the different color fist emojis.
But let's be real, Jeremy Allen White also posted a black square. But you know, let's separate art from artist.
Also, like he's gonna be married to another black woman in like 3 years, so like it'll be okay.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
there are definitely. I do think that like still having the black square on your Instagram feed past. Also, you should have never put it up in the first place. Let's start there. Having it up past December 2020, it just gives anti-intellectualism to me. That's my first. It's an anti-intellectualism red flag for me. But I know Jeremy Allen White is a very smart man, and I know he be reading and shit. And so I'm just gonna have to charge them into the game. And the thing is, like, I'm not opposed to, I guess, Carmi having a love interest that isn't Sydney for now.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
and I did like, or I understood the approach that they were taking in the way that Claire was supposed to like connect him to his past and his family and Michael, and I do understand that. Except that her character, it just fell flat. Like she needed a paperweight for sure. I'm also seeing a lot of like the juxtaposition that like Claire is supposed to represent like who Carmi was in the past and like what his life was like before Michael died or whatever, and that Sydney is kind of like who he is now that he's like gone to culinary school and he like seems to be way he's like in
right.
therapy and goes to Al-Anon and he's like a good communicator for the most part when it comes to his relationship with her, and like she does definitely represent like a new beginning for him, I think, in a lot of ways. But I
Right.
just don't know if we necessarily needed Claire in that capacity for that.
To show that contrast.
Like
Yeah.
it does work. Like the intention was there, but like her character was so like, if she had more dimension to her and she was more interesting, I could be like, oh, okay, I understand now. Like this is very clearly somebody who like she's the person that he liked when he was in high school, and he's about to be 30. Like it's very different. So,
Let's see what they do season 3. We'll regroup. Um,
any thoughts or hopes for season 3?
thoughts or hopes for season 3? Um, I'd love a Jollof Rice episode.
Shut up! No.
No,
No.
actually, like, in all seriousness, I think I want to see more Tina. I think that her, like, development is stunning, and, like, the fact that she is not nominated for anything, it's for season 1, so I'm gonna give them a pass, but, like, next season, if she's not nominated next year, I'm gonna be posted in front of the Academy of Television or whatever they call it. I'm gonna have a picket sign. I'm gonna say we should do a strike again.
Speaking of development, I can't believe I forgot to bring her up. Sugar slash Natalie,
Mother, sister.
literally pregnant belly mother. I remember like watching the first season, I was like, oh, she's so annoying, blah, blah, blah. And then I watched season 2, and like I definitely like empathize with her a lot more. And the mom issues run deep as fuck in that family. Woo chow. Um, I want to know how they went on after she crashed their car into the house.
Right,
Like I really want to know what like the weeks after that were like.
because you're telling me no one took a bite of the dinner. We spent a smooth 45 minutes. Like, oh my God. I was like, we don't have our priorities together, people. Like, what do you mean you're gonna drive a car through the house?
I know Fack and his brother like took the plates home.
And another thing, I said this on TikTok, Jamie Lee Curtis can act. She can actually act incredibly well. She ate down as Donna in The Bear. Knowing this, why was the Oscar that she received given to her? Knowing that she could do a performance, she has a lot more. You know what? Because if we're really going to be honest, she should have won an Oscar for Freaky Friday. But but they don't want to hear that. They don't want to give that. Yeah, exactly. And people are like, "Oh, it's a career Oscar." Like, they just give people career Oscars. I was like, "Okay," but when Stephanie Sue was there eating, being like multi-dimensional, and like like that whole category was absolutely stacked with like amazing, heartbreaking, full performances, and then you get the tax lady wins the Oscar. But you know what? Let me.
Yeah, I fully agree. And like Freaky Friday, Jamie Lee Curtis, like that's my sister. But like, and also if it was like, oh, it's a career Oscar or whatever, why can't the career Oscars just be like their own category where they just nominate people who they think deserve to get a career Oscar? Lifetime achievement for the Oscars. Like,
Lifetime award.
I did really enjoy her performance as Donna. Fola and I were talking about this before that Edie Falco would have fucking devoured as Donna Burzano.
Down.
Oh my, like y'all, if I think the entire borough of Brooklyn would have heard me screaming if she pulled up on my screen as Carmi's mom.
As their mom. Oh my God. Because it's like, we know what Edie Falco can do, right? We've seen The Sopranos. We watched her. I was like, literally, Maya and I were talking about this. I was like, we've seen Whitecaps, okay? If you haven't seen Whitecaps, season 4, episode 13 of The Sopranos, Edie Falco shakes the earth. She's insane. And I think that, like, she could have definitely, played the mom, and we're supposed to be giving Italian X family vibes, and like Jamie Lee Curtis is from where exactly? I'm pretty sure she's from Ireland or some shit like that. That video of Io doing the Irish accent, it's stuck in my brain. I love her. But yeah, awards are silly. You know, I think that we should have an award show where we actually say who deserved to win things, because I think that, like, you know, the voters, all that stuff, the academy, they don't know what they're talking about. We do, you know. They don't know anything. And, you know, I saw a lot of tweets talking about it. They were like, there are a lot of black dramas that were, like, completely shut out of this year's Emmys. And, like, they're talking about, like, P-Valley, Snowfall, all those shows. And, like, I don't watch P-Valley, but I've, like, tried to get into Snowfall. And, like, what I've seen is really, really good. And so it's just, like, you know, we have these, like, completely white, or like, what's it, maybe like the one Asian guy from White Lotus, but like you have these like completely white acting categories for, like, you know, all these shows, and it's just like, you know, we're just completely neglecting an entire sector of television because
I will say though, I didn't know that Snowfall was a show until like 3 to 6 months ago. Like, never heard of it. And then, of course, once I like heard about it, I started seeing like billboards and like ads on bus shelters and stuff for it in the city. And I'm like, that show was on for 6 seasons, and I didn't hear anything about it. Like, it's FX. FX.
we see
I think
you,
you guys have some money to move around in the marketing budget.
right? Because the way the bear was tattooed on my eyeballs this year leading up to the premiere, like, they know how to get people's eyes on things. So, you know, and it feels like kind of like, you know, how people would say like Netflix puts out all these shows and only markets like 10% of them. And then they're like, oh, why did no one watch this show? It's like, because you have literal demogorgons going to people's houses and eating their faces so that Stranger Things can be like in the public eye. But like, well, did you ever watch Sense8? You should watch it. But I mean, it was very like 2015, 2016, so like grain of salt. But like, they did not advertise that show, and it was really good, and it was well loved by the people who like liked it. But it's like you had to come across it or hear about it through word of mouth, and they canceled it after the second season because they were like, well, no one watches it. And it was like,
I wonder why that is.
you didn't fucking advertise it,
Right.
you didn't market it to anyone. And yeah, I feel like Snowfall, I think like not to be like it's black famous, but I think that it was like it's very popular among black people
Right.
who watch TV, similar with P Valley. And you know, you've got like shows like Succession that it's like, you know, they're just big in the zeitgeist, and because, you know, white people have access to them, of
Right.
course they're gonna like tune in and stand down. But yeah.
Any closing thoughts on The Bear, TV, the Emmys?
The Emmys are like in September, and I just want everyone to know I am insane. If some people win things that they don't deserve to win, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I know that I'm going to cause problems. My mom is a prayer warrior, and I just, you know, I'm like, I don't play like this, like, you know, but yeah, I feel
Right.
like, you know, next year we've got to do a bit better. And, you know, with all the strikes and stuff going on, like, you know, is there even going to be TV to talk about next year's Emmys?
Is there going to be TV to talk about? Also, I wonder what the Emmys are going to look like if the strike is still going on by then. They're going to have to do it over Zoom, like during the pandemic.
It's literally, it's just going to be a PowerPoint presentation. They're just going to be like, they're going to like email it to everybody. They're going to be like, yeah, here's the PDF. Just scroll through. Yeah, because it's like the people who write the Emmys are in WGA, aren't they? They're on strike, and the people collecting the Emmys are on strike. So, yeah, solidarity with the girlies. We love a union.
Fola, did you have anything that you loved or hated this week that you want to share with the class?
Loved or hated this week? I want to say that men specifically, you know, you're talking about Venus in retrograde, and I think that men were being very silly this last week.
Yes.
What with Keke Palmer's baby daddy, Jonah Hill, all the nonsense surrounding that, and like I've made a few videos about that, and people were like, "Oh well, Jonah, they were just setting boundaries," and I'm like, here's the thing: you don't get to use therapy speak if you never made it through a full session. If your therapist is like a BetterHelp, like texting you type beat, like no shade, not saying that your therapy is not valid, but who are like boundaries, babe. Yeah, it's just like everyone's very fighty. Everyone, I feel like a lot of
Yeah, the men are being like, maybe it's the weather that's making the men be so like, they're like, man, like my girlfriend can't wear a bikini,
they're
man.
hot,
Like,
yeah. Right. Like you what is it? You want to date a bad bitch, but you don't
it's
want
crazy.
your bad bitch to
It's
be a
crazy.
bad bitch. Crazy. You know, yeah, Keke Palmer's employee. Good luck to him. You know, did you watch Insecure?
I didn't.
Oh, you got to get on that. But like one of the guys from Insecure is Keke Palmer's baby daddy's brother, and he had a baby by like one of the actresses on the show in Insecure too. And it was just like, this is clearly like a familial, you know, generational curse. Like y'all need to do some soul searching. But that's just
Who's his
me.
brother?
His brother, it's his name. I'll text you his name. It's like something Jackson though.
Okay.
I can't like pronounce it, and I don't want to fuck it up. But yeah, I think that men, you know, like we always say, like men should be, you know, in the Army Reserves. They should
Yes.
be building bridges. They should be fixing America's infrastructure. And instead, they're on Twitter arguing about women that they will never bag.
Exactly.
And it's just like, you know, we used to be a proper country, okay?
We did. We used to be.
And
Yeah.
now, yeah. That's where I am. That's my hate. Hopefully, I don't have to say the same thing next week. But
Oh, hopefully not.
Yeah.
But like the way the men are showing their asses, we might have to rehash.
yeah,
Because it's getting weird. Also, the way the regular men are acting in response to it is really terrifying too.
right,
That they think like, oh well, he's communicating his need, and it's like, okay, but like, you telling your girlfriend that she needs to act a certain way in order to stay in the relationship with you is not communicating your needs.
right.
You're giving her an ultimatum, essentially.
Exactly.
And also, the needs are not needs if it's like, I don't want you to do the thing that you do for work, or spend time with the people that are important to you, or wear the things that you need to wear to work. And also, I'm going to be very smug for a second and say, I never saw it for Jonah Hill.
Well, yeah, because my favorite thick white boy was Seth Rogen.
Exactly.
So,
And what does he do? He paints and smokes weed. Yeah. Right. The
smokes
way he
weed.
should.
Oh my god.
I'm a Taurus Sun, Aries Moon, but my Mars is in Libra, and I feel like something I've had to learn over the last couple of years is that the things that I have like strong opinions on are just as important as the things that I like don't care about. Because there's been many a time where like I encounter something and I like don't even care enough about it to have an opinion on it, and then it turns out that thing is terrible. And Jonah Hill was one of those things where like he was kind of just like always like I never like took him in. I was kind of just like, oh, Jonah Hill. He just orbited me, and then I was like, oh, that's why I never like cared to engage with him or anything, because he like was like secretly a loser. Yeah, maybe men shouldn't be allowed on the internet anymore.
I was thinking in my head, I was like, you know what we should do? We should have men do like a group project at the beginning of every year. They should be assigned to like work at a construction site or
Yes.
like, you know, put solar panels up or whatever, and they
Yes.
don't get access to the internet until their task is finished. And then they only get like a limited number of hours online,
Oh,
because I
absolutely.
think that, you know, I think that men need to be doing other things. Like the internet is for girls. I'm so sorry.
No, like, why are you on Twitter?
Why are you on Twitter as a man? As a man. Why are you
No,
on
it's
TikTok as a man? Why are you posting threads of comments in my
Right.
TikTok as a man.
It's
Go build a
weird.
house. Go
Literally.
sign up for the army reserves. Leave us be.
It's so embarrassing. On the bright side, though, the fact that, like, I am seeing, like, other men getting fed up with other men being in women's business on the internet, and I think that's funny, because they'll be like, we used to, like, hunt woolly mammoths, and you guys are arguing about birthday makeup. Like, you guys are embarrassing us. Like,
Exactly.
yes.
You know, is a $50 date, $200 date, whatever, like
We used to build pyramids, for Christ's sake. Like,
pyramids. You know, they like the planets and shit. They found out what was orbiting what. They were making periodic tables, and now we're sitting on Beyonce's internet debating silliness. Save my people.
literally. Maybe, I think we need to meet with Kamala Harris and discuss her plan for men to do their little internship.
Yeah. When's she gonna put everyone in jail? Look, abolition. I can put it to the side.
Excuse racism. I draw the line.
Oh my god. Funny, funny.
What did I love this week? Ooh, did you ever play Tiny Tower when you were younger on like your iPod Touch?
No. Sorry.
It's a game on the App Store, and basically you're a capitalist, and you build a tower with like you can build apartments, and you can build little stores and stuff, and you have these cute little people that live in there, and you make money and stuff. I used to play when I was a kid, and then the girl that I babysit for, she just got a phone, so she was asking me what games to put on her phone, and I told her Tiny Tower, so I
Period.
re-downloaded it myself, and I really have been running my little tower like it's the Navy, and I was like, honestly, like maybe I need to go to the Rock Nation brunch, and I need to have the dinner with Jay-Z because it's been a week and my tower has like 34 floors. Okay,
Right.
all of my workers are happy as fuck. I'm making mad money.
Jay-Z should have brunch with you. He should reach out and
Yes,
be like,
yes,
hey, Maya.
yes. And what else am I loving this week? I started doing the artist way last week. I'm on week 2. It's fun. I don't know, I've been like wanting to like carve out more time to like be creative and work on creative stuff while I'm working a bunch. And it's been a fun way to keep myself accountable and to just be like tuned in and have
Yeah.
like instructions to follow. So I'm enjoying that.
That's cool, yeah.
Things I hate. This is like my summer grievance every year, but it feels like this year. I don't know if it's because like I'm just spending more time outside right now, like between my 2 jobs and stuff. White people, tourists, coming into the city and like not like having no spatial awareness, no like sense of urgency with walking. Like it's really starting to stress me out. And if I have another instance where a white person bumps into me or like their arm hits my arm and they don't apologize to me, it might be my last summer out, if you get what I'm saying. So I need them to get on board because it's getting also like if you bump into someone in Minnesota, you're not going to turn around and apologize. You're not going to be like, "I'm sorry, excuse me," nothing.
I feel like people have this like image in their brain of like New York people. It's like we don't say sorry, we don't say excuse me. It's like, I feel like you can say excuse me. No one will be mad at you about it.
But that's all. I guess that's it. I guess that's our episode.
I guess that's it. You know, world domination incoming. This was really fun. And I'm excited to keep going.
Of course. We're gonna put a little thing on the Spotify episode so that if you have any thoughts, you can submit them and we can read them.
For
So
sure.
yes, and we will talk to you
Yeah.
guys soon. All right.
All right. Chat later.